We're at the final guest for today, so hang on in as we talk to EVA ZEE. And of course we've got to finish the day with the Sparkle song!
You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine. Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Hello, welcome to Straight Talk with Sally. It is our podcast batching day. We've had a really fun day today with a great lineup of guests. So we have had, oh, where's my little finger gone? Over here. So first off, we had the beautiful Sarah in Who Doesn't Love Puppies with Sarah Lowell. We then had Christelle talking about all things sexy automation. And then finally, we have got Eva, my purple-haired friend, is our final guest today for Podcast Batching Day. So if you haven't yet done so, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, hit the bell button to get all the notifications. But I am hanging to talk to this lady. She is so inspiring inside of our community. And honestly, the stuff I see this lady undertake and do is amazing, and she has purple hair. I mean, you can't go wrong there, right? But honestly, she is inspiring and transforming people's lives and those that are in the healthcare space as well, right? Because honestly, those people are amazing, especially like all the work that they did through COVID, right? But she started as a phlebotomist. I had to practice that one, a phlebotomist. And then worked as a nurse in critical care to become a mind-body specialist. And then after years of juggling, lots of demanding roles and all the, the night nursing and charge nurse, wife, mother. She felt that weight of exhaustion that you get, stress and overwhelm. And she'd lost her passion for nursing. She lost touch with her true self, but she made a decision to follow her heart calling, which led her to embark on the journey of self-discovery through yoga. And she is now, honestly, going out there and doing some amazing things and helping people to rediscover themselves as she is rediscovering herself as well. So embracing her self-compassion, her kindness. She honestly, I see her turning up and helping lots of our clients just because she loves to help people. And I want to introduce you to the amazing, the purple head friend and client, EVA ZEE. Welcome on in, EVA.
Hello. Welcome. Thank
So
you for
nice to have
having me
you.
here, Sally.
So good to have you here. Now, I know I shared a little bit about you there, but, before we sort of dive into any questions that you may have for me, because this is a new segment called Ask Sally, so hopefully you've come prepared with a question. But why don't you share a little bit about, your journey and why you do what it is that you do?
It has been, honestly, I feel like it's something that I have been led into. All of the different pieces of my life really led me to this portion, to where I have the pieces of having worked as a phlebotomist, having worked as a nurse, having um, been in the trenches of the hospital and gone through all of the, I'm going to say dumpster fires, because all the other words are probably not YouTube friendly right now. But all of those things led me to a certain point. And when I started to look for the pieces that were missing in what I felt the pieces were missing in my life, I had these amazing people that came into my life that helped me to be able to work with some nonprofits that do adaptive cycling for veterans with PTSD, um, and first responders with PTSD. And then I also found the perfect person to help me in my yoga journey. That's really where I started to really grow as me, and also really opened my eyes to all the areas of me that were covered in piles and piles of stress. All the ways that I was showing up in my life as the shell of
Mm-hmm.
myself, where stress was just constantly taking over my life, and I didn't even realize it. And then once I really started diving into that, I just felt so much more happy and so much more joy and so much more me. And that's the purples started coming out more and more then. It slowly has creeped in, and now it's the full-blown purple. Um, but once I started realizing how that was what it was that I wanted when I went into the medical field, I wanted to be able to help people live their life the way they want to live their life. It's specific to them.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, just this immense amount of change, and all I could think of was, more people need this. More people need to be able to see this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I want to help people. This is where I'm really good at being able to say, you don't have to do it the way I do it, but we got to find what works for you. And
Yeah.
so, there's so many different aspects to it. So that's why I'm a mind body specialist, because I'm pulling in from all of the different areas, and it's all connected.
Yeah.
Your mind and your body don't operate independently.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And what was business like before you joined us? So you've decided to, start your own thing. What was business like before you came into the Sparkle Class Academy?
Very disarrayed. I mean, I was doing things from 7 in the morning, sometimes 6 o'clock in the morning, until 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I was all over the place. I was driving everywhere. I was working with private clients. I was working with studios. I was working with nonprofit organizations. And I was all over the place. And I realized about, oh, right, probably actually after COVID, when everything just went to a grinding halt,
Yeah.
um, I never scheduled time for myself to be able to get from point A to point B and have lunch or have a break. And it's like, okay, I left one crazy, hectic schedule and created another hectic schedule for myself. And I needed to get a better plan in place.
So
And go ahead.
no. That's awesome. So where did you discover us? I can't remember exactly what your little path into the Sparkle world was.
It was through the course creation program in that
Ah,
magical giant group.
yes, with Shalene, right?
Yes,
Yes, you're
exactly.
an MIA.
Yes.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're actually about to run that because I like to help Shalene out once a year, and we're about to run that. Well, actually, next month with them to help them again. So, yeah, come join us and you can share your journey to them and let them know what happens when you get to do the course creation with me. So,
Absolutely.
what made you say yes and actually come and join the Sparkle Class Academy?
You had this amazing framework system. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this is going to help me bring all of the ideas that are in my head and put them onto paper and help me to get them, where do I start? Do I start here or do I start here? And you've done a fantastic job with me because I get so passionate about all of the different things that I want to do. And you're like, yeah, that's great. Let's focus on this part first. You got to do this before you can do these.
What do you think you've liked the most about like all the things? Because there's a lot of stuff, right? Like when we tell people about what's inside of the Sparkle Class Academy, we can't do it in one presentation. But what have you liked the most, would you say, about the Sparkle Class Academy?
Oh, there's so many things. It's honestly really hard to pinpoint it down to just the one thing. Um, there's just an immense amount of resources, experience, and knowledge that's available to you. I'm going to say 24/7. Now, you're not available 24/7, and you shouldn't be available 24/7. But there is just so much that is available through the experts that you bring in, the the replays that you have, the library, and all of the vast amounts of knowledge that you put out into the world. But in the program, it's in the order that it's supposed to be in.
We practice what we preach, that's for sure. So today you're here to ask a question to get some extra help outside of what we do for you normally. So, what is a struggle that you've got right now, or what do you want some help on?
Um, I have lots of my steps in place. What I have I've been continuing to refine my niche and continuing to refine exactly what it is that I'm helping people with.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm struggling with is the actual verbiage, the terminology, the transformation. I
Uh
can
huh.
tell you what it's not, but people don't want, like, That's not what people need to hear. They don't want
Yeah.
to know, okay, you're no longer going to be burnt out, exhausted, and screaming at your family because you can't find your car keys because somehow you managed to stick them in the freezer instead of putting them on the credenza where they're supposed to go. True story.
I love it. Okay. Well, that's actually the big promise. That's probably what you're looking for, right? The big promise, the big outcome. So people come in with a problem, and what's the big promise, the big outcome that you want to get them to at the end, right? So now we've done a mapping session together, correct?
We did your old school,
Ah,
the
yeah.
1.0 mapping session. We haven't done the 2.0 mapping
Ah,
session.
so you're in the old keep mapping sessions where it was really boring and just grey and green.
Now, I'm not going to say it
Well, it was
wasn't boring. It was
color wise.
it was huge and it was immense and it was enormous and it mapped out the whole rest of my life in terms of my business. But I didn't get the Canva post-it note
Ah,
version.
yes. Yeah, yeah. So what we've done now is, yes, we have the whole Canva style mapping session. So I think first off, the major steps, like your signature method. If you were to tell me what are your major steps in your signature method, do you know what they are? Like what the module names?
The module names are, yes, I have the
Mm-hmm.
module names,
Yep.
and my signature method
Yep.
is a aim for your best self.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awareness, intention, mindset
Mm-hmm.
through breath, eating, sleeping, and I call it transition because for some reason there's no word where I can take BESM and make a word out of it. But it's transition because it's how you transition. It's not just how your body moves, but also how your mind moves. So it's transition.
Okay. So it's a so it's a transition, it's mind and body. What are their biggest struggles that when they come to you? Now your niche is specifically for nurses, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And what are some of the biggest problems that nurses have? Why do they need you?
Because they are stretched in more directions than any human being could possibly be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it because they've been asked to do it over and over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
so they are sacrificing themselves, their
Mm-hmm.
health, and their mental health in order to be able to do that because they were nurturing and nourishing
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Yeah.
in all the areas.
Yeah. And what are they looking for? What are they? So
They're
if they're stretched thin, they're constantly giving out, sacrificing their own stuff to nurture and nourish everybody else. As nurses, they're healers, they're always there for everybody else. What is it that they want? What is the outcome or solution they're looking for?
they are looking to be able to have more energy and more, I say boundaries, but I think it's more they want more balance in their life. They want to be able to be more of themselves
Mm-hmm.
in all of the areas of their life, to
I,
be more energetic, more vibrant,
mm-hmm.
more
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So why? Tell
not
me
be
more.
exhausted.
Yeah. So tell me more. They want more energy. They want more balance.
They want
Why?
sleep.
They want
They want more
sleep.
sleep
Yeah.
because yeah, they want sleep. You ask any nurse, they're like, I want sleep.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Why? Why? Tell me more. Why do they want sleep?
they are saying yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
They are um, running themselves ragged
Mm-hmm.
and not fueling themselves
Mm-hmm.
for all of the energy that they're putting out into the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So
And
they need to hold back some of that energy.
yeah, yeah. So they say yes to everything. So what do they want then?
They are they're wanting to be able to say no
Mm-hmm.
without guilt
Okay. Why do they want to be able to say no without guilt? Tell me more.
because they feel compelled to take care of everybody
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of themselves.
Mm-hmm. And if they do start saying no without guilt, what will that give them?
More time,
Mm-hmm.
more time to do the things that are meaningful to them.
Yeah. What's meaningful to them? Tell me more.
Doing the practices that fill them up with light, that
Mm-hmm.
make them energized,
Mm-hmm.
that make them happy, that make them smile, that make them,
Yep. So if
want
they
to be cuddly with something or somebody.
Yep. So if they're feeling more happy and they're smiling and energized, what will that give them?
Peace,
Mm-hmm.
vitality, vibrance,
Mm-hmm.
the happy, healthy, whole version of themselves.
Yep. Why would they want to feel that way?
Because it brings about inner peace. It brings
Mm-hmm.
about satisfaction and um, happiness
Mm-hmm.
and a level of self-love.
Uh-huh. Yep. And if they have more self-love, what will that do for them?
Improve they can be their whole selves. They can be the version of themselves that has been buried deep inside, and then they're showing up with their family, their friends, their coworkers, their patients,
Mm-hmm.
um, with much more kindness, compassion, and empathy.
Yep. Okay. So in essence, correct me if I'm wrong, when they have more time for themselves, they can actually give better and serve better and nourish and nurture those beautiful people better than they can currently.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, what they really want, from what I've got from there, many notes, is they want to be able to say no without feeling guilty. Yeah. Say no without feeling guilty so that they can have more inner peace and then be able to give more to others.
Yes.
How does that
Yes.
sound?
Absolutely. That sounds perfect. That sounds fabulous.
So,
This
if
is why I love you, Sally.
so from all those words, I think that was the biggest things that stood out for me. Did you notice what I did there through that? What did I do? You've been around a
You
little while
said
now.
you've did the why. Tell me more. Say more about this. What will this bring them? Tell me more about this. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So the things that stood out for me the most was they really want to be able to say no without guilt, which will bring you more inner peace so then you can give more to others. So it begins with them, right? Because at the moment they just say yes to everybody, right? But they're frustrated, they're overwhelmed, they're stretched too thin, they feel like they're sacrificing everything for everybody else because they do want to help others. They really do, but they've just lost it. That thing that they had originally, when they became nurses for a reason. They became nurses because they want to help people. But like everything starts at home, right? If they can look after themselves and they can look after others, fill your bucket first. So Now, you said to me that you have done the old mapping session. We also have the new infographic that we've brought in as well, which will actually help with this a little bit more. So you did the phase 2 offer creation, which was the old mapping session and the Word document. Now we have it all in Canva. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the new Canva infographic one just to kind of map that out a little bit more, and you can go back and watch the replay on this and listen to the words that you were saying, because that's actually going to help you with working out and defining that ideal client just a little bit more. And it never stops. Like, we're always reviewing this at least twice a year in great detail between us and the whole team, and then we interview you guys as well to make sure we're super clear on that. But then the next time we run the offer mapping session, come along if you can put it into your calendar. So it'll be a full day event when we do it, but you can also go and watch the replay that we did a couple of weeks ago as well, because I'm pretty sure, I don't remember, you might have popped in, I'm not sure if you popped in to be a butterfly on the wall. But moving forward, if people were to ask you what it is that you do, first off, of course, you help nurses, right? To be able to say no without feeling guilty so that they can have more inner peace and therefore be able to help and serve more people, right? Show up as their best self. How does that sound to you? How does it sit well?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
Well, that was helpful for you then, Eva.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my
Awesome.
gosh. Yeah, my sessions with you are there's always some thought provoking, and in that, I've got the steps, I've got the program, the creation, and one of the things that I love with you is it follows a lot along with the yogic principles, and that you're a student of this always.
Yeah.
You're always evolving and learning and growing and expanding, and yeah,
Well,
it's never
that's
done.
it is never
You-
done.
it's never
No,
done.
like even like every year, as you all know, is I go and I hire a coach, and you'll hear me turn up into our sessions. Oh, guess what I learnt from my coach, and share it with you guys. So I go and hire the best coaches out there, and I bring all the goodness that I've learnt, but constantly student hat on. I budget for my coach every year. Sometimes multiple coaches, mindset, even psychologists, because you can never do enough to look after your brain, right? My daughter, talking about sleep, actually sat me down on the couch last night to talk to me because she's doing psychology at the moment. And she was talking about sleep. And she had to ask me questions around sleep. Well, she asked me on a good night because the night before I had 8 hours sleep. So she was, and then Danny because I said to Danny, I don't remember how much, and he said I had 8 hours. And she's, oh, that's good. And then my husband goes, and the night before, and the night before that, because my brain, it's always thinking and always building or making or creating. And she educated me about REM sleep, which I didn't know. I didn't know about REM sleep. And she told me that, you get like 5 minutes of REM sleep the first cycle, and it gets a bit longer and a bit longer. And it's that last hour, and that's the bit that heals your brain. The rest of the sleep is just fixing your body. And now I'm being schooled by my 18-year-old. I'm going to have to take my daughter's advice and make sure I get better sleep. I nap through the day, because sometimes my body doesn't always keep up with me. So I do that as well. So I have to, though, I didn't realize that I wasn't getting the big REM at the end. So I've been schooled. So you're a big believer in that. Now, I mean, you went out and you've become accredited, right? Tell me a little bit more about that. I want to, share with the audience what it is that you got accredited in.
So, as well as being a yoga teacher, I'm also a certified brain health professional. So one of the big components of that is always learning. So my yoga teaching is actually all of the yoga teaching. It's a yoga therapist versus a yoga teacher. Um, and with that, it's uh, focused on what is missing from a person's life and how can we help them to use movement, mindfulness, breathing, uh, different things that invite sleep and help get more restful sleep, because it is incredibly important to the brain. So it's one of the core portions of my signature method because sleep is such an important area. And for nurses, I was a night nurse for so many years, and that was one of the things that was missing in my life is that, and night nurses are just absolutely um, very skilled at being able to bargain with sleep.
Yeah, like
So
I know what my brain feels like when I haven't had enough sleep. Like I can feel the neurons not firing, and I'm very quick at thinking and doing. And when I haven't had enough sleep, I feel like I'm drunk, right? When I'm
mhm,
not when I haven't
yes.
had enough sleep. I just can't put my words together correctly. And this is going out to all the entrepreneurs out there. We are so creative. We're always thinking about how we're going to help each other that we can neglect our own sleep, and I am totally 100% guilty of that. And I'm trying to improve on it. I don't want to get older and regret what I've done now. My husband and I were just having that conversation earlier about, eating healthy, and we don't want to be like his uncle who, got into his 60s and was regretting everything he'd done up until that point because now he's suffering. So, I mean, you're a huge advocate for all of that mind and body health stuff. And you are so inspiring inside of our community. And I don't know if we told you this, but our team get together twice a year. And at the beginning of the VTO, and you've been through the VTO, we actually have to write if we could duplicate people inside of our community to go and take world domination, who are your top 3 people inside of the community? And you were on the list. So you did come up with a few of the staff members. That's how much we love what you do inside the community, because you really embody one of our brand values, which is above and beyond. Right? You always show up, or if somebody needs help, you'll click the button and jump into the VOZ and help them out. So I do want to give a lot of gratitude to you for what you do. You're not paid to do it, you're paying us. But you do really show up so beautifully for the rest of the community, and I do appreciate you so much. So I just wanted to say it loud and proud to the world that this lady is amazing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I there's so much support in that community, and there's just everybody jumps in together to help, and it's such a fantastic environment because everybody is working to empower each other.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? I know. It gives me
I know.
goosebumps. All right, so we have our fun, fast, what is it? Fast talk with Sally. So let me find my little scene here. Are you ready? Are you prepared for fast talk with Sally? Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so fast talk with Sally, and it's a 1 minute to learn as much about Eva as we can. And yoga or Pilates?
Yoga.
Meditation or mindfulness?
Ooh, mindfulness.
Where are you on the weekend, home or with friends?
Out.
Out. Uh,
Out somewhere. Yeah.
Outdoor workout or gym workout?
Ooh, outdoor workout.
One word that would describe your business journey.
Transformation.
Full body stretch or deep breathing?
Oh, that's not fair. Deep breathing.
Digital detox or social media break?
Social media break.
Natural sunlight or meditation under moonlight?
Oh man, those are both amazing. Moonlight.
What makes you angry?
Un-
All right, go and answer that one, but I've got to get to the next question because I really liked it. I just have to say, first off, a shout out to Ma. Great questions. You knew our guest well.
Gosh,
So
those
good.
were some tough questions.
Oh, I can tell, like, as I told her, like, just go and grab some words, but she's literally all the questions that that's why I said to you before the thing, oh my God, you can tell Ma knows the guest, right? She's picked some great questions. So what does make Eva angry?
People that are unkind.
Yes. All right. And the question I wanted to get to, if it's not Sally if she doesn't sparkle, it's not Eva if she doesn't.
Drop an F-bomb.
Oh, my family would say the same about me. My daughter always tells me off. She'd be rich if we had a swear jar. Oh, Eva, it's always such a pleasure hanging out with you. Now, if anybody wants to find out more about what it is you do, where can they find you?
Oh my goodness. They can go to evazeewellness.com/self-care opt in.
Okay, we need to fix that so it's easier for you to say.
I know, right? I'm like, I need to go back and fix that.
Yeah. We'll fix that URL, okay, so that you can say that a little easier. But you're not allowed to change it now because it's in the podcast. Oh, no, actually, before, Ma, you're listening, we're going to make that better and we'll just do an overdub on the live on the replay. And for those on the live broadcast, we'll add the link with the video, okay? So if we do change it, you can still find Eva if you're on the replay. Thank you, Eva. That was so much fun. Thank you for saying yes. I literally posted inside of the community yesterday, and Eva said yes this morning, and it's now, 10, nearly 11 o'clock at night? So thank you.
Yeah.
So
I put
fun.
on makeup just to wash it off.
I know. You've done really, really well. Thank you so much. As always, showing up as your best self. I love you. You're amazing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love you too, Sally. You are just a bright light in the world, and
Aw.
this is fantastic. Thank you for all that you do.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, thank you. And for everybody who has tuned in today, thanks for joining the live podcast Batching Day. Is there anybody out there who actually caught all 3 episodes and stayed with me all through the day? Let us know in the chat if you went through and watched them all or binged them, but you made it to the end of the 3rd recorded episode. They will all go up onto All Good Podcasts, edited and all the things. Well, we don't edit too hard because we're all about kind of keeping it as authentic as possible. But thanks for everyone for joining us. Make sure you do subscribe over on YouTube for all of the latest live streams, along with our weekly live training that we do over there as well, which is on a Tuesday at 9 o'clock regularly. Every single week, 9 a.m. Melbourne time. Smart people Google. And thanks again to all of our guests today who turned up. We had the amazing Sarah in, our beautiful puppy trainer, and also Christelle was in to talk all things automation. And then Christelle and I, we just kept on talking. Then I quickly got a bite to eat. And then here is the amazing Eva. So it's been a really, really wonderful day of some super powerful, inspiring women out there in the world, paving their own way and leaving their mark on the world. Isn't it pretty cool, right? So thanks everyone for joining us over the last few hours of today. Well, literally, it's taken up nearly my whole day. And thank you to Eva, who has been our final guest of the day. All right, guys, as always, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Get at least one income-producing activity done each and every day. And we'll see you on the next live stream. Bye.
off, I'm not gonna change my mind. You're headstrong forward, but this time around I'm taking my time. Don't push me, I'm not coming down, I'm not giving up. Oh, don't rush me, I made up my mind, going straight to